Friday Night Live. Hello, everybody. We have an excellent, we have an excellent show planned for you tonight. Now, I know that I showed you a thumbnail that included the H10 Origin. I did not bring an H10 Origin home with me, but it's obviously going to be a topic of discussion. So I figured, why not throw that up there so that we can answer some of it as it goes. Now, as you can see, I am not moved. This is the same place that you've seen me before. But maybe for the last time in this room, as far as like a live stream goes. I hope. But that is we'll see how it all goes. I've lots planned for this weekend. And if all goes well, then the next live stream and even the next edited video will go up as a new studio. Now it's not gonna be fully pretty, but but it's going to be something. Where did you get that display on your wall for your RC trucks? Those are IKEA cabinets. Those are called the Enhet, E-N-H-E-T, and they are fairly cheap. They are made to be kitchen cabinets, and obviously this is not a kitchen. Those are like the base of them, and then they sell fronts and all that kind of stuff. And I did not do any of that. I just used the base because I thought that would be a fun, interesting look. And that was pretty easy. So restock soon? No, actually, it's not going to be anytime soon. I don't have a date that I can share with you as of yet to when you'll see more available on the website. At this point, we're going to start processing through the orders and see how the build rate goes per week. And then once we can determine if we're going to be able to hit the schedule as it's going to currently demand for what we projected on the website, then that's going to determine when more go up. So if we get a month in and we realize that we're maybe going a little bit faster than projected, then we'll be able to add more without having a big stress. So that's kind of along the lines of what I mean by I don't know exactly when yet, but that's how you and when you'll see it. But not as limited as the V1. Maybe, I mean, it depends on how you look at it. The V1 was available for pre-order for over a year. Like it was up there for a long time. They just they just weren't as, purchased at the time. That's all there is to it. So in some ways, no, maybe available for a shorter time than the V1. It's hard to say because the V1 just sat up there on the website for the longest time. And then people later on were like, oh man, I wish I would have got it. Like, well, it was up there for a year or more, maybe 16 months. So like, it's always one of those hindsight things. People are just like, oh, and so this is so much more car than the original. So as well. Yeah, it's a lot more. And the original V1, the Ripper, was $1,900, and it was the chassis kind of that bolted onto SCX rails. The rails weren't included or anything like that. You just got the tube portion and the body portion, and the body was nothing in comparison to like this one as far as detail and number of pieces, things like that. So it's this one is just so much more car. Yeah. So this is not Ripper 2, but the Ripper is V1. You call it how you want to call it. Pull out the V1. I've got it. I know exactly where it is, but it is not in a super accessible place. So yeah, uh, a lot of wheels sold out. Restock soon. They restock all the time, all the time. It just matter. It just depends on which ones are going up at what time and things like that. And then you also have to remember, like dealers are also purchasing through there. So sometimes, however many of one will go up, and then a dealer or a distributor will come in and just swipe them. So it's yeah. V3. We're already talking about a V3. Let me get through something called a V. Let me get through this one first so that my eyes don't twitch while I'm trying to go to sleep. Room looks a little naked. That's no kidding. I've tried to put some cars back on shelves, but there is definitely there's cars missing. There was more cars here at one point. Ah, you know. So can I design the VS410 replacement? VS410 is not going anywhere. So no. Did you finish the Lego? I did. It is up there. It is on a stand. You can see that it is canted. Now I did that minutes ago during before the live stream. Sometimes I do a members live stream for 30 minutes. So like I started this at 6:30, and that's because for 30 minutes previous to that, I did like a little members only portion of a live stream. It's been a fun little thing to do recently. So I've just been kind of continuing to do that for the last couple of weeks. And, you know, I I appreciate the members, and that's one little thing that I like to try and do. Uh, Lego live stream ish. Yeah, I just keep messing with this stupid little. It's like a brick puller or plier or something, right? I don't know. I think that's what it is. I don't know. I've seen them before. I think I'm right. I'm just gonna keep fidgeting with Legos. If I don't, just throw that away. Thank you for becoming a member, Spencer. Much appreciated. Paid up for Matt's stream. Thought I better do the same. Thank you. A little treat for the greens. If you make it to Beat the Creek, there will be a hot meal for you at our camp. It is absolutely the plan this year to make it to Beat the Creek. I wanted to last year. Even if I would have got my planning done in time, I would not have made it in time. So, or I would not have been able to make it. I can't remember why. I can't remember why. If I felt like I got sick around that time, like gnarly sick, which seemed to happen to me like 3 times last year. So, I don't remember for sure, but that's the other one. This is the starfish crowd over here. We need new 8-hole shooters and slot mag wheels. The 8-hole shooters are pretty similar to a Riot. So I feel like the Riot is the better the more modern replacement for that. And then slot mags, that's kind of what the new X-Ray Battleborn is that comes on the old Origin. So how about them drift wheels? Now they're ripping 2 of them. I need to make something happen there. I absolutely do. What's up, Dart? Can I buy a Blem Origin? Actually, we had a Blem. One little part had a little thing on it. The rest of the entire truck was good, but just one little part had a little ding on it. So we took the assembled car as it was, and we ran it through the bandsaw, cut it in half to make sure that the whole thing went away. Just because you can't allow that type of stuff to get out. No kidding. So when are we getting brass slugs for the rides? Bring back the Roost campaign. Oh, the Roost. It's actually we haven't posted any of the video yet, but that machine that we got delivered it was the end of January, or sorry, the end of December. It final testing and things like that went through yesterday and today, and it's a really rad machine. So it will allow us to now go from raw stock to a finished wheel completely without having to touch it. Um, the robot will actually come in, reach in, flip it around, take it from first op, flip it around, put it in the second op, and then keep going without a human ever having to touch it. And it's got a ton of, it's all racked up. So it'll run all weekend with nobody there, just pumping out wheels. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine if you cut a P1, you probably get canceled for that. I can't find. Let's. Okay. I love a good. Why is that? Hello. Why is my keyboard not working? It's even plugged in, is it not? Nope. That's working. What in the world is going on? This is ridiculous. Weird. Okay. IKEA. Let's see if we can find these things. No, I don't need that. Can I just go kitchen cabinets? NHET cabinets. NHET. And then there, right there. See, there's one of them. And this is the 24 by 12 by 30. I think that is the mid-size one that I have, the smaller size. Or maybe the 18 is the smaller. But I've got those and 24 by 12. Do I have? Yeah, so I have some that are wider and some. So you see how that is a narrower one than that. I have two different widths. So yeah, that is what I'm looking at. Look at who's here. God damn it, Dale. Also good to see you. Thank you very much, Lone Wolf McGee. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. And congrats to whoever got those. Toxic, I have gold level P. Congrats on the new casa. The Optic H10 Ripper 1.5 looks amazing. The spears go down easy after a 12-hour shift. Hate. Just hate. You love to see it. Love to see it. Is Nicole going to make an appearance? Ask her to come say hi. I did not brief her for a live stream, so make it. I do not believe she will feel she is camera ready. You need at least 16 inches wide to hit 2 wall studs. Yes, but these things come with a like a strap type thing. Oh, I just got an update on my appliance order with a better time frame noted for delivery. Sweet. Good to know. Thought you would all like to hear that update. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh, anyway, yeah, they come with a mount that goes on the wall first, and you can kind of offset that as needed to get it. And technically, they're not meant to go in this staggered setup. So when they're all go across, you can have those mounts all together, and then you hang the cabinets as needed. So the cabinet doesn't have to be centered with a stud. But mine are for toy trucks, and I fudged it as needed in some places. Fine. How many will be made? It's not a number we will ever give you. Yeah. So we don't really share that. Yeah. let's see. Sorry, I missed a bunch. I know. But yeah. How did the swap meet go? The swap meet went really well. So that was last weekend. Obviously, loaded up Gunner's van on Friday, and new Cletus video. Sweet. I will absolutely have to pull that up. But we I left early Saturday morning, and drove down to Gunners. I think I left here at 5:15 in the morning. Eagle fastest run. Sick. Love to hear it. That one small tire or the 275s? It's got to be. So anyway, went down there. It was great. It was a new group, new turnout. Put out that video the day before, and I think that helped a lot. So that was even better. 5:15. Did you sleep? I did. I actually went to bed super early to be prepared, so that I was, I was prepared for such a thing, and I didn't fall asleep while the Gunner drove. I could have done it. Several recommendations for the aged in origin. So that's a good question. We ran 370 TBLs for the video cars. It's really just 370 TBL is a good looking servo. It's all aluminum. I would maybe want to go with a low profile just because I like the look a little bit more. All aluminum case, low profile, like a Reefs 800 LP. That's a non-direct power, low profile, which would be my preference. So I think that'll be my route, most likely. Yeah. So at the sack at midnight, I think it was actually like 10:30, which is wild early for me. So 900 LP is direct power. The 800 LP is the one that is not, and that's the one I think that I would choose. What are your origin color picks? So I've been considering this, and I think that I've landed on clear chassis, gray panels, clear axles, and undecided wheels. Why did that crash? Can you guys still see me? Oh, still says it's going there. Put in the chat if it's still working or live. Shows YouTube has disconnected. Okay, you guys still see me. All right. Well, I'll wait for YouTube to stop freaking out then. Yes, but no audio. I don't believe you. No sound. No orange on your origin? I do love orange, but not tip. So agree. I like orange in a number of different ways, but I rarely do orange anodized parts. I don't know. You guys, you could hear speak up. So yeah, I think that the wheels are the only thing that I haven't made a decision on. That's the part. Will Nicole still be able to slide in and out of the studio unseen? No, actually, that was brought up. So I have actually, I'm going to give me a second. I'm going to go hit save on something out there real quick, and then I'll be right back. And I'll be able to show you a little bit more because I'd put up a members video of showing like the new studio space and things like that, kind of describing. There was a lot of good recommendations, but there was some reasoning that I chose what I did, and that's what I'll show you. Give me just a second. All right. I'm going to give that a second to finish there, and then I'll show you. Anyway, I got mine murdered. So, sound working, but no check. Is there a new Fordyce coming out? Nope, no new Fordyce. The Fordyce will, once the gray is gone, those will both be discontinued for the time they'll both be discontinued. For my Ancient Origin, I want to do bronze cage, gray panels, black axles, and bronze wheels. Thoughts? Bronze and gray. I don't know if I've ever seen those two colors together. I know that I have all of those options in process right now, Nick. Might be able to show you what that looks like. But show up the cat layout of your room. Obviously. Let's see if this is fixed. I have bronze IFRs on gray wheels. It looks great. That's really interesting. I wouldn't have pictured those colors together. Is it animated cat? I want Orange Fame bronze panels, but people in the Facebook group think I'm dumb. So it's so hard. I'm colorblind. Everything looks great. Enough space for a driving sim? I'll show you how the driving sim is planned to fit in there, because currently it's behind me. And in the new place, it's also planned to be in there. Dale, you probably haven't been here for a while to see that I've been sim racing. So, updating 124.615. There we go. Jeremiah, thank you very much. Oh no, he's opened up a CAD program. Start building my Legos then. Don't worry, this isn't like regular CAD. This is just to show you what the space is supposed to look like. So I'm going to close that. We're going to share that specific present, share screen, window, that one, share. So this is the space we are looking at. Sorry, spinning around. So the desk is going to go in this corner, and it will be looking straight back towards the corner where the door is going to be. And I don't love the fact that that is going to be the case. It is unfortunate. I don't like the look of a door in the background. It should be basically behind me though, so it should be somewhat hidden, but I'm going to do as much as I can to also continue to hide it with whatever else I can. I have a couple of ideas of things that I'm going to plan to do. Now, the reason I can't put the desk in over here is because there's a closet here, and I need to have access to that closet as much as possible. So if I put the desk over there, it would block that completely, and that's just not going to work. Why the angled desk? So actually, it's the best use of space because I have my camera tripod, my microphone set up. I have a soft box here, my computer monitors here, another overhead lighting rig here. So like I utilize that space behind this desk quite a bit. And then it also gives you like the maximum length of the room from the camera to the far corner. So it gives you like as much depth as possible. It makes the room look larger, which is what I did in here. Like this room that in here now, this is a very small room. Um, and it looks bigger in here than it is just because I've got the camera in the corner, and then it's, the furthest corner away is the back part that you see it. So it's that difference. But um so that's why. Will this be bigger than the current space? Unfortunately, no. Currently this room is 10 by 13, um, with that little angle taking out a little tiny bit of this. The new space is, let me double check. Um, the new space is, why did it not? Oh, because I didn't click on the right thing. 12 by 10. They're just a little under 10, 12 by 9.5 or so. So a little bit shorter, but it is. Make a replica of Matt's room. So uh there is reasoning why I have done this. Now, putting it in this other corner and looking the other way and keeping that out of the way, well, then I would have the closet in the background, which also kind of sucks because I would hate to have to keep that in like a super nice organized way. I want it for maximum storage, but not necessarily to look good. So, and then also there's a window back there, and you really don't want a window in the video because like you'll notice slight differences in lighting between cuts. And I also don't want to black it out. So it's just like, I laid this out every possible way I could kind of think of, like even with the desk square or off center, like in the middle almost, so I could like try and like flex space, like film on different sides of it, things like that. It just, none of it worked in a way that I was happy, except this way. And the only the lesser of all evils is having that door back there. So I'll get into some of my plans for that here shortly. Kurt, thank you very much. What that one dude that builds tunnels under his house can't snap it up? Yeah, Colin Furs. Whoa, I love that tunnel. That tunnel's so rad. So jealous. Bunker and all that. Oh, love it. Love it. Hey, look at this. Here for extra square footage. Jeez. Thank you a ton, BT. Good to see you. Now, it is nice that the house does have extra square footage, just not the spaces that you see me in. This studio and the garage both pretty close to the same. But anyway, race sim along the back wall. We'll sit back there still. Toolbox will, instead of being on my left, will be on my right. That's another storage unit thing that I have. This thing here is currently on my right rather than left. Little changes up with that. It's also nice when you're using a corner because I have all my sound treatment panels on my walls around here, and it helps reflect, keeps things nice and quiet. Aardvark Spleen, thank you very much. That is so cool. We had our furniture laid out a week before we had keys. Congrats. Yeah, I mean, I love CAD for this. So this area this is where the staircase comes up, as you can see. It will come up there. And then there's like a little second living type loft area. And this is where I'll have my editing computer. So it'll be out of our like right now it's just, I have a desk set up and it's just in the living room area. So it's just, you walk in and it's just like, this is where all of Josh's shit is. But we'll keep that in a fun little cozy space. It'll be fun. That's the plan. Jeremiah, why don't you just go all out and rebuild the door so when the door closes, it blends into the wall? So that's some of the thought is on this wall here is to do like the uh flatted wood wall type stuff. And my thought is I could take the trim off of the door, try and make it seamless, and then also cover the door to try and make it as, I don't know that I have the skills for it, but it is a consideration. So that has been one of the things. Have a custom door made that are shells, like it's possibility. It opens in and it hinges on this corner. So I have to like well, I think I might have this rotated the wrong way, but or these shelves I needed to have, I don't really remember. Maybe I'm only gonna have 3 up there. We'll get there when we get there. But yeah, going over there, that's the, we'll see. I just haven't not decided exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start off by just get all of the walls painted the color that I'm talking. We'll get that done here. Get that done this weekend. So yeah. But then I'm gonna take the closet doors off and try and utilize that as much as possible. But GC Coop. Will there be origin replace panels available at some point if someone wanted to change colors or to get them? That is the plan, is to sell replacement panels to people that own cars. So the panels wouldn't work on like an optic base, like the chassis is not the same underneath. So it would only work on origin, but we also want to make sure that people with the origin are people that are buying. So yeah, that is the thought there. Pocket door. The only problem with the pocket door is that it still doesn't blend away. You know, like it's not flush or anything like that. So it does help that doesn't have to swing into the room though, for sure, which would be a nice benefit. So yeah. It comes with a title. Exactly. I'm looking forward to getting that done. What color is the baby's room gonna be? Have you shown your origin yet? Nope, I don't. Technically, mine isn't technically out there yet. So, beaded curtain. See, I need the sound deadening. I don't like my noise carrying throughout. I get very self-conscious if someone else is nearby and can hear me record, like talking during a video. MT. Thank you, Brent. Hideaway doors makes every option you can think of pre-made. I have one that's nice and wasn't too bad to install. You can change swings. Hideaway doors. Is that a brand name? I'm unfamiliar with such a brand, but now I am searching. Hold, please. Hideaway doors. Hideawaydoors.com. Oh, they're like the actual secret door looking. Well, isn't that? I mean, some of these are kind of expensive. But okay, I'm gonna leave this open. I'm gonna leave that open. I kind of like that look. How this is interesting. Going to paint the room OG orange back to nope, I am not. Talk about throwing off the look of a white balance. Good thing it's a 2-story. Don't want to wake the baby. I actually need to follow up on that and see where they're at. tab number 6. I am not that person. That's Nicole. She is a tab person. I close tabs. Just saying. I'm responsible. I mean, they ain't vinyl wrap again, but hidden doors are cool. Is your origin going to be a one of one non-production color? Nah, nope. My color choices will be probably some of the more tame. Like I'm thinking clear and gray. Just keep it. I mean, unless I did dark earth, that could be fun. I mean, just to. I do like dark earth. I don't want to do purple, but will you drive your origin? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, for sure. My phone is showing up. It's good. That's ridiculous. Get your life together. No. Origins and TOF. Oh God, no. Absolutely not. If the biggest issue is with this is like this is a pretty decent workload, and like it'll take a lot of effort from me to get everything sorted for these, which would technically be running into the time that I would be working on TOF stuff. So I don't know if I would be able to do both. Like right now, I'm having to focus on these, so TOF may just be a end of the year thing only. I don't know. I'm thinking for wish color, deep forest green, like a dark pine color, like these, or is that too light? Let's see. What do you think of the jump they're working on at Hammers? I shared it onto my story on Instagram already because it looks freaking awesome. I am so excited. So excited. Thomas, the only kind of surprise you have time to stream. Less yappy, more packy pack. This is what procrastination looks like, Thomas. Now embrace it with me, and it's Russ. I don't need this type of negativity. Blue panels with gray cage. That is a fantastic looking combo. The blue panels that I've got there look really good. Really good. You know. We'll trade for movers. Oh, the trim sausage. 75% green, 50% white, 10% orange. A nice kind. Green, white, little orange. What is green and orange? Is green and orange? Do you ever see that together? Yeah, I don't know. Not that. Yeah. Well, I do not have a real start time, and it's not much further than my current one, so it's still that 30 to 40-minute drive that I typically have. Granted, I don't go during rush hour, so he's college on special colors. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Jägermeister's green orange. Miami Hurricanes also. Okay. Yep. Those make sense. Jägermeister. I always think of the Jägermeister livery, which is mainly orange and like black and yellow or black and white. A little less of the green on the Jägermeister livery. Make mine a Knight Rider tribute. All black. You're gonna put the grill lights. Jason West, thank you very much for becoming a member. And it's a nice Subaru in your picture. Kidding. How long have we the neighbors? I'm great. I'm a great neighbor. You don't have to deal with me at all. That's the best neighbor. Like, I'm not gonna ask you for anything. I'm not gonna like it's just nothing. Like, just don't worry about it. Like, I live here and you live over there. Nice to see you. You actually have a yard now? Nope. Still nope. Orange anodizing for the Origins soon. What do you mean? It's already available as an option, but if you're like saying like looking at photos and things like that, that is one thing that I would like to do is that as I do get some of these colors back, I'll like hopefully get some photos up there to show. Yeah. That's if purple was an option, I would have impulse bought an Origin and it would be divorced. The best neighbors are no neighbors. See, I mean, I grew up in a rural, like I'm trying to like the house that I remember most growing up. I like know ish who the neighbors were, like, and we could see their houses. I could see the Foxes lived up there, and I don't really remember anybody else's name, but I don't really remember that ever talking to them growing up. And we were there for I was probably 4 until 8th grade, so that would have been like what, 12, 8 years. I never remember talking to a neighbor or seeing a neighbor at my house talking to my parents. This is where I get it. I'm not reading that comment, Thomas. I'm not reading that out loud. Yeah. Let's see. Another Omaha person. What do you know? Well, all gold and black axle housings with all gold hardware. I do like the sound of that. Yeah. That's because none were horse people. Yeah, that's exactly. None of our other neighbors had horses, and that's all we. We had horses. We didn't talk to them. Actually, did the people across the street had horses? Didn't they? I feel like they did. The one up on the hill. Didn't they have horses? Or did they just have a property that possibly could have? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you were always so snooty. No? Okay. I always just thought. It's been a long time since I looked at that. You were a horse person that got out of that cult? Yeah. Holt grew up. They were always there. Lots of horses. Lots and lots of horses. Water before school. My brother would go throw hay and then have to go change again before he would have an outfit for throwing hay, and then he'd come back and change again. I think he would still do the same today. I still do. I still hate doing chores. That's the thing. I know, Thomas. I'm still not reading it. Do you ever miss your Class 1 Jeep? I mean, every every truck, I feel like is always I've said many times that I'm not a overly sentimental person about a lot of those things. I always feel like I could just do it. I could do it again. And I can do it better. Finally, it's just I don't ever because I never build something again. Usually, um, but yeah, no, I just I'm like, oh, I got to see it again in Colorado for We Rock last year, so that was cool. Or no, I didn't get to see it. I met the guy who had it there, so yeah, something like that. Rockabilly going public after the move? Yeah, most likely, unless I find time to get it done sooner. But I mean, almost 100% at this point, it'll be after the move. So, um, this setup in here is first. Ugh, gives me anxiety thinking about that. I've packed so much shit in this room. I don't know how. So this room will be first, and then probably my office setup because that will just keep giving me the motivation to do the rest of it. Or it won't. I should do that last so that I get because I'll just be like, I'm just gonna go over there. I don't need it. I'll just sleep on the floor. Just as you're going to do walk-in small batches, asking for a friend. They don't, unfortunately. They only do like big vendor production stuff. There is a company in town here that does do small batch stuff, and I think it's called Act Plating, if I'm not mistaken. Um, yeah, I think that sounds right. It's been a long time, but in town, that is the other good option. Yeah. So, hey, Hector, just found your channel and love it. Working courage to build that rock buggy you did. Telling you, if you have some want to fabricate, it takes a lot of the extra stress off of it and lets you just kind of practice on the parts um, that are maybe a little bit more difficult, but not really that wild. I think that you would it again. It's the best way to try and knock something like that out. Who plated Bob's Cage? Oh, what that place was that called? Um, it's like Harold's or something. Gary's. I don't remember, but they do mainly um like he plated his cage all chrome. Um, so they do mainly like chrome and gold plating or nickel and gold plating more so than anodizing colors. So, but they're pretty rare. I did look at having some parts like actually gold plated for TOF last year, and I just ran out of time, didn't get it done. So, yeah, it's pretty rad though. Yeah, can't wait to see anyone runs an origin and we rock comp. I mean, why not? But so yeah, yeah. See, Dana, that's what Bob did. He chrome plated his entire rockabilly chassis, and it looked fantastic. He did such a good job with it. Uh, had some car amps nickel plated, shiny and heavy. It adds nickel plating adds some significant heft. Um, do you think using aluminum hardware for everything above the axle on comp rig would be worth? Yes, but so I've done the same. I've got a bin over here of aluminum hardware, but you got to be careful. Don't use it on shocks. You'll shear it and or bend it off. So use it for everything that doesn't have like a high shear load. And then in those places, use titanium hardware. So you can kind of mix and match where you need the extra strength and whatnot. Uh, Titanium is about twice as heavy as aluminum. So just be aware of that. People always think titanium is lighter. Titanium is not lighter than aluminum. It's twice as heavy. You can just usually use less of it in cases to make things light because it is stronger by weight, or by volume, whatever you want to call it. You just have to realize that when it's a 3 millimeter screw, 3 millimeter screws, 3 millimeter screws. So if aluminum one will be half the weight of titanium. But it's still, that titanium screw is going to be lighter than a steel screw. So you get more strength and it's still lighter, but you wouldn't want to do titanium everywhere because you're just leaving opportunity on the table. How far off is the trailer from being ready to release given your current limits? I don't. So the trailer part itself is pretty good to go. It's just the decking that I need to get sorted, and before that, I need to finish the axle setup, which I've got pretty much situated. I just haven't 100% finished. So it's not going to require that much work, but I need to find some time. Best place to get titanium hardware. It kind of depends. I've shopped tons of different places to get it. I think the last batch that I got was through AMain. Before that, I got it off of RC 4-wheel drive. They were like blowing out their titanium hardware. It was like 80% off. I mean, it was ridiculously cheap. But now I think the last time I bought it, I just bought off AMain. They have a number of number of sizes, and yeah, so you know. Did you buy anything at the swap meet? Not a single item. Nothing. Now, I was given a couple of things. A guy there came up to me. He's like, "Hey, we were chatting and he was talking. He had seen the channel a bunch one night. He's like, "Hey, he's just like, I got a thing for flashlights. I brought you a couple." And I was super. He actually he had a bunch. He's like, "Hey, just he's like, you can pick a couple out," and it was freaking awesome. But he gave me they're Olight, and this is the Perun 2, which is just a sick little flashlight. And then he gave me the mini as well to match it. So super awesome. And that was right. I got them charged up the other day, and they're very bright. Several levels, kind of a fun form factor. I've never owned I don't think I've ever owned an Olight, specifically on this brand, but I thought it was super cool. So yeah, I came home with those. I came home with a shirt from Kurt and Lauren. I came home with some more Hot Wheels from Frank, and also from one of the other guys there. He gave me one of the new premiums. So I did come home with some extra stuff, but I did not shop. But yeah, these are awesome. Ooh, will the files be available in mountain radios? That's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. I have several Olights. Olight is great. See, I don't know. I do not know. It's a good brand. That's good to know. I don't know much about t-shirts. Did you say you came with the shirt? Yeah, I did, Dale. It wasn't a massively offensive one either. I own 6 Olights. One is my cordless hole. One is on my cordless hole punch. One of the gas powered hole punches. I like it. What? Oh, God. Ugh. Where's your friggin' cardigan? It's packing, Josh. Let's not specifically discuss the progress on packing. You know what? That's what I'm going to do after this stream. Tonight, since I'm planning to move this particular room, I'm going to get this room packed up. I've got those 8 tubs. I think I can make some good progress through this, and we can go from there. You've been wearing pants at our house. Let me tell you, Matt left his hat here, right? Now, talking about wearing it around the house. What in the child's head? Like, it fit. What? This is barely a lice. Melon head. This is a 7 5/8. Wait, no, 7 3/4. This is 7 3/4. Sorry, I thought it was 7 5/8. And then I looked at it. I was like, oh no, don't worry. I had a haircut though, so that's why. No, Matt's just got, when he wears the like snapback ones, it probably like overlaps a little bit. Hey, we found this bag of doll heads in his studio and found some stray hairs here. Must have been from. It's not shocking to us. Double X answering dream. Exactly. And that was just like, no, we got to get the bigger ones. These look, because otherwise I would get those flex fits, and like the first thing I would do is just grab them and just like stretch it until the elastic which went pop, 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 and like until like I could tell the elastic had lost its, and then it wasn't overly too tight, but otherwise way too uncomfortable. So 7 3/4, 7 5/8, usually somewhere right in there is where. If I you know what I should do is commit to this, Eric, so that I size exchanger. Where is Matt from SVG? I'm guessing he's still working. I know he's had a project that has been a real work project that's been on him. So, yeah. Flex fit stretch mechanisms, wet them, put them on a balloon, and leave them overnight. That's interesting. I don't have a why would I don't have any balloons. So I gotta buy balloons? I should just buy the right size hat. Figure out that was specifically why we got the big ones. that that is ridiculous. The one thing that is nice about living out here on the West Coast is that all the flat billers out here, which this is a flat bill, supposed to be a flat bill hat, which I do not wear. So I had this one steamed and curved, but the flat billers all out here all wear like somebody with Matt's size head would wear this hat with their ears tucked in, all weird like. I don't get it, but that means they wear these big oversized hats. So I can actually find hats out here that fit me. It's amazing. You're in the Midwest. You'd think all them corn-fed dude. No, little hats. Drives me nuts. Or Bill flipped up if it's okay. You're one of them. You're one of them ear tuckers. Oh, yeah, I hate flat bills. Midwet hat, best hat. Now, the one thing that I don't like about Midwest is that you get over curved Midwest a lot. Like it almost starts to go past just a half circle, which a half circle is already a little too much. But I'm just saying. I find that happy medium. Now, I will say, if I'm going to wear a flat bill, it is backwards. Hard stop. Backwards, flat bill, I can do. Why is his hat weirdly shaped? Because of the size of my head. Where's the fishing hook on the little baseball and farm? It's like, yep, like them super curved all the way in. Hello. The winter is offensive. I don't know if there's any other context to that, but I agree. So I used to wear flat bill. Wait, was this it? I know that curved hat in the Midwest all too well. I actually see it every day where that's Ryan, you're central Missouri, aren't you? Or yeah, you're central Missouri, aren't you? Yeah, in the Midwest. The winter is offensive in the Midwest. I agree with that. Flat aisle, flat bill, don't tell me what to do. We had some fun with an autocorrect today. So today I was on the road all day today driving a box truck basically up to A Main delivering kits for the most part. More optic kits and some RTRs and things like that. So I was on the road all day, which is fine. And Jim had gone with me today, so some company, and we had a quick meeting while we were up there. Sometimes it's just good to do. And so I wasn't driving. I was driving. He was responding to some messages for me, and he's like, "This got autocorrect got him pretty good." So he's like, "How do you spell this word?" I told him, I was like, "Yeah, it's exactly what I did, and it's trying to autocorrect it to this." Is a 4,000 kV Polar Pro 4 too much oomph for F9 portals? In what situation are you planning to run a Pro 4? 4,000 kV Pro 4, isn't that only a 2S motor? I feel like no music in that clown truck. I bet. What clown truck? Hmm? Hmm? Into the free moving truck. I already took it back. How many retailers carry Vanquish products? Oh, I actually have no idea, because while we have dealers that come direct to Vanquish, we also sell to distributors like A-Main and Horizon Hobby, and they both have, 1,000 dealers each. How many of those cross over? How many are the same? How many of our dealers are also dealers to them? Like, I got no way to know. Then we've got distributors overseas, like Schumacher in the UK, who distributes throughout the UK and some of Europe. Then we have distributors in Asia, like RC Mart. So no idea how many. I don't even think I could get you accurate information. Did you top off the gas tank? Of course. This is a very I have a very I'm used to that trip. I do it all the time. It's just one of those things, like, I like to drive, like, it's an hour and a half up to Amain or so from my place, so it's just like, it's easy, hour and a half drive, just it's a boring ass drive. I mean, between Sac and, uh, Chico, where Amain is nothing. It's just tiny little, towns, and you just lots of orchards, and you just drive. It's like driving through Kansas. So, Eliminator, yeah, Eliminator. We don't have any. I don't have any distributors in Canada. The biggest distributor in Canada is called High Performance Distribution, and we don't distribute with them, but we have dealers in Canada. We have. So, can you call Sacramento Sac? Yeah, it's pretty accurate. Farmland on both sides. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of visual interest as you go. As you said the other day, killing time making wildly misspelled searches. God damn it. I haven't looked at my search console in a week or so. No. Isuzu box truck? No, this one was a Chevy. 16-foot Chevy box van. So, Bull, Sacramento. Even a little bit more. A little bit more accurate. KC to Denver is mind numbing. That is absolutely true. You can almost drive that at night with no headlights. Just point and just. That's actually the best time to make that trip. Nicole and I uh, have left Kansas City like at 5 o'clock on a Friday and just drove to Denver 8-9 hours overnight. And at night, like none of it matters. It's just like that's the best thing to do. Only way to do it. Let's see. I heard Hayes to KC is a fun. So Hayes, Kansas is about halfway between Denver. And yeah, Hayes is it's just nothing. There's nothing out there. Hayes, Russell, those are both right next to each other, I think. Yeah. The state of Nebraska's mind. You get out into the sand hills of western Nebraska, it at least kind of looks like a golf course in some areas. I'm telling you, Kansas is worse. Oklahoma might be the worst. Texas is pretty bad too. I've driven a lot of states. Tell you what, once you start getting west, that's where things actually look interesting. East is pretty good too. Once you get past like Ohio, or you get down south, Kentucky, Alabama, Tennessee, those areas, those are pretty good. These states are all lame. Hey, leave Oklahoma out of this. West Texas sucks. That is, yeah. What? There's also like the east part, the north part. South is. Yeah. None of them are shaped like a mitten. Got bored driving to Victorville. Driving in California is like if you leave Sac and you drive down like towards LA or to like Victorville, where Pearland by the Fire is, the stretch through Central California is kind of just like smoggy Kansas. It's pretty shit as well. In the distance to your one side, sometimes you can see some hills if there's not like wildfire smoke or too much dust or smog. But yeah. That's the one year Nicole and I we had we drove from KC, did KC to Chicago, and then drove up through, what is the border crossing in Michigan to get into Canada? Sardine, Scarnia, uh, what the hell is it called? Someone will say it without me having to search it. Drove that way and then drove through Canada that direction, like, Sarnia. There it is. Thank you. I was close. Sardine. Uh, Saint some Sarnia. I don't know. Is it Sarnia or Sarnia? No, no. Either way, it was that one. Drove through that way and then drove through Canada up on the top side. And also a pretty boring drive up that way. And then when we came back, we dropped down through Buffalo and drove through Pennsylvania, or New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio. So many of them. Not the best. Not the best either. And then later that summer we drove down and we did the Gulf. We went through Tennessee. We did some Tennessee, drove all the way down. We did Dauphin Island that year. I'd rather take the south trip. Camera is fuzzy. Yeah, sometimes it just likes to, focus on something else for a minute. I was asked to drive through. Like there's somebody behind. Maybe they're gonna help me pack. That'd be super helpful. Like, oh hey, can you help put some of this shit in some boxes? Like, to do it. Where's the light? What did I do? I did this one earlier. How did I do the stupid balloons? Both sides? Both sides. The camera isn't funny. It's just, what the fuck? You haven't been here in a while, Dale. We got a new computer, and it likes to try and understand what you're doing and then give you emojis for it. Some thumbs up, thumbs down. Pretty helpful. Yeah. 7:44, 45. Middle finger? Nope. I don't think it recognizes that one. Double bird? Yeah, it's fake celebrations. We're screwed. So, get some bad anime next. I don't know good anime. I don't really know anime at all. Mac Mini, exactly. That's what I run in here. Just the Tyus Pastor says, can you sleep on a long car ride or awake the whole time? I am a control freak, so I usually try and drive. But if not driving, depending on who is driving, what vehicle I'm driving or we are in, and what the road conditions are, I can sleep. But it really depends on all that. I have to be tired for one. And yeah, so it depends on a lot of that. So I got a whip idea and packing. Rackfest. I switched to a Mac in here. I don't have my PC going anymore, Dale. Maybe once I get everything back up and going. No way, Matt's driving. Matt has driven me around before. And so he wasn't that bad. I could probably sleep while he was driving. Nicole almost never drives when we're on road trips. There's been a couple of times. Once we were in Disney, Oklahoma, and we were down there for a Crawlapalooza or some event. I can't remember exactly which one. I think it was Crawlapalooza though. And we left and we were on the driving down the road, and I was just like feeling kind of shitty. And then I was absolutely just, I was like getting so sick feeling. I was like, okay, you have to drive. And so I put her in the driver's seat, and I think I just fever dreamed for the 3 hours it took to get back to KC. But I was just out against the window. Have you ever visited Matt at his abode? I have not. I have gone to Canada, and Matt and I did briefly hang out there, but that was before we were good friends. So I did not visit his home, his castle that he lives in a castle. Do you guys know that? I think he showed the backside, but the front is an actual castle. Very fancy. So at the Department of Vanquished Vehicles, will you be able to transfer origin titles? Yes, Art. Well, kind of. The certificate of origin that the vehicles will come with have an ownership history on the back of them. So you will see the ownership history on the back, because you better for one keep your you better always transfer that title. You try and buy one of those things without the title, oof, be weary. Before you were dating, the one he threw the truck off of, yeah, that was the back. You can't really tell. That might have been like, I think he was just showing like the west wing of his house, but you know, the other wing, it's a massive house, really a castle. Like I was saying, turrets outside, the whole deal. There's a moat. So uh, lines at the DVB are going to be long. So yeah. Will clear Fortnite bodies stick around, or those getting discontinued? Clear bodies will be around for a while. Yep. So replacement body part, those things, those still around for a decent amount of time. Yes, yes, indeed. And he films in a closet. Yeah, I know, right? Forward origins will never have titles. You're gonna see him up on those "if you know, you know" pages. And have you guys seen any of those on Facebook before? Like, like 2019 Hellcat, $7,500, no title. If you know, you know. Or yeah, lots of those. Those pages are hilarious and also terrifying. Terrifying. Oops. There's this one. Will origin panels be available separately? Only to people that bought an origin or own an origin, and at a later date, that will be a thing. They'll still be very expensive, and you can't mount them onto anything else other than an origin. Like it doesn't work that way. So they'll only available for there. Strikers. Those nope. Duh. You ever look at some of those people's profiles? It's just like, man, I like the Dolmen fan measurement. I am in the Dolmen pages as well. Some of those are pretty good. I like those way better. Yeah, I can't wait for what to sell with the salvaged. Beside the name, do the Origin and H10 kit share any parts? Yes, absolutely. The axles are the same setup, same geometry. The rear axle is a special axle, though. But internals are all the same as far as that go. Links are the same. The transmission skid plate and side guards, same parts there. It also uses the interior, so all of those parts cross over. The front bumper is also the same because we are reusing that part. If so, are you? Yeah, there is one. I think it's called H10 Origin Official, and yeah, that is one of ours. The origin title. Uh, insurance is gonna be expensive. Clean driving record. Ah. New panels being rebuilt title. Yeah, I mean, if they don't match the original color on the title, because the title is going to have what the car was, number, colors, like it's all going to be on there. I didn't order if they bought one that they didn't order through VP. There'll be some things that go along with that. So there'll also be a title to make sure that proof of ownership, all of those things, not numbers matching. But yes, there'll be a number of steps that can be taken to know who bought each thing. So part of the title stuff. Flood one and get on Copart. About your extended car warranty. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Gets Corvette, starts scaring. Oh, it's in Georgia Shot Nation 9.9. Always in. Oh my God. So, ah, you can't have the man knowing my info on a title. No title needs smog. Oh, California people know how Dusty Nuggets. Great name. Great name. Will VP be keeping a list of registry? So previously I did. I still will for these for original. As far as like transfer and all that type of stuff, not likely. I always just keep my original data. Like I have all of my original data from every original Ripper sale. Who they went to, what colors they were, um, all the way down to the one duplicate number that I accidentally did. But still nobody knows what it is. And I know specifically who got both. And I know one has transacted, but I don't think anybody knows where the other one is. And he's never really been on like public Facebook. So yeah. Nope. Origin Carfax ran by Josh. Not emissions compliant with current. Actually, you might be good for a $7,500 tax rebate if you get one of these because it's an electric vehicle. It's a plug-in. It's a plug-in electric. You might be able to get yours for free if you live in the state of California. You got a title. You bought this new car. Yeah. Yeah. Did they update the wheelbase rule? I have two different sets of 2025 rules. They did run a little update. They did update the rules. I don't know why. Josh backs guaranteed. Have any Rippers been stolen? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. Not that I'm aware of. I've never seen any that was. Yeah. Ripper 80 was lost to a fire. Was that recent? One was lost in a house fire. Interesting. I don't know that I knew that. Did anyone ever show the special coin in TOF? They never did. 2022. Wow. That's wild. I don't remember that. Ooh, house fires are the worst. The worst. Hey, Rob, thank you very much. Is the Holmes HVESC BEC programmable above 5-fold? What's up with the next build on? So, as far as I'm aware, the HVBEC ESC BEC is not programmable, and you shouldn't use it for anything but like receiver power. I wouldn't power a servo or anything with it. I've heard bad, like people having bad performance with that. So I would say if you're going to run the Holmes HV, run a separate Castle BEC, and just to be safe. And so what's the next build along? That is something that once I get moved, I'll get cracking on a little bit more. The trailer is a quick thing that I want to get knocked out, but the U4 thing will be the next one that I'm really going to dive in. That one will be much easier, much simpler in general, but looking forward to it. The coin is on a box and pallet. There is the slightest possibility that that is real, but it would be such a rare chance because it wasn't like usually the ones that get kept are one of the last ones. And that was, I remember Karina and I were standing there when we put it on the box. It was an optic that was in there, a black Sparco optic, and or sorry, a black Yokohama optic. And she set it in there and we both looked at it and went, oh, hey, there it is. And then we finished closing it up. But that was like in the middle of the whole thing. So like it would have been so rare for it to be the one that ended up getting kept, because I've kept 1, 2, 3 or so from every time we've done it. Maybe other than the very first one, but that would be the very first one we might not have, but after that I have. Rockabilly release date as soon as I can. I wanted to have it done before the move. This move thing, like Nicole and I were, when we were back at home for Christmas, Kansas City and Nebraska, Iowa area, we were talking about like, yeah, when we get back, we're going to kind of start getting serious about looking for a house, you know? So it was just one of those, like, yeah, it's going to kind of be our thing. We're like, and we had met with our realtor before and we're just like, listen, we're not in a hurry. We don't have an out date. We don't have like, we just want to find the right place. Like that's really what we're after. Like if it takes a while, it takes a while. No big deal. And then I fly back, and the day I fly back, Nicole finds a house that just got listed, sends it to me, says, you should go look at this. So like, okay. I go look at it. I'm like, it's pretty good. It's like, man, let's put an offer in. And that was, I looked at it on January 1st, put an offer in maybe the next day. And they're like, well, we'll close the 21st. Like, okay. That was a little spicier than I thought. I definitely not think that was going to be how the year was going to start, but rip the Band-Aid off. And so average price for a 2-bed, 2-bath house with the 2-car garage. I don't even know. I don't know what average is anywhere. You know, it's silly so much. Have you seen the Moonshine chassis from CAC Create a Crawler? I like it. Keep it simple. Stu 700K. That's like SoCal prices or San Francisco prices. Sacramento is still like a little bit more reasonable than those places. So Car time. Go for it, Phoenix. Good to hear. Uh, Josh, if you kept your composure well about this release, I think it was honestly the best design arc. You know, composure is one of those things. Like it's been super interesting. Um, transitioning to working in the RC industry. Uh, it I don't think that it would be like this working at just about at every RC company. Um, but where I'm at and what I get to do every day at Vanquish, like it has allowed me to keep everything still very fun because work is still work and it's mainly keeping like a facility running, not playing with RC cars. So like when I come home and want to play with RC cars, it doesn't feel like I just did that all day. Hardly ever, you know. You're talking about it and you're working on things that are associated with it, but it's still just very, you know, one of those it's still one of those things. But so it, working on things that are then like new releases and things like that and seeing and working on them things that are 2 years possibly from when you start working on it till it's basically ready to be released. Like the hardest time to not talk about things is in those first 6 months when things are like it's fun and you're working on this and that and tweaking this and that. But then after that, you're sending things for tooling and you're waiting for samples and it's a month here and then another month and then you get this part and you tick that and you try this part and it's a month. So sometimes by the time it gets released, like we've been looking at staring at the tiniest details and fitments for so long that like we're numb to it in some ways. But the best part is that then when it gets released and everybody's excited, you get to read all those comments and it'll like reinvigorate you. And then you're like, okay, let's go. Like, let's do this. Let's have fun with it now. Because that's the other thing is like while you're working on it, like you have to like go secretly drive and test in places where people aren't going to be. And you're not going to, we have fun, but like it's not like going to an event and getting to drive a car with a bunch of friends or things like that. So it's like two separate lives and they seem so unconnected at times. It's very wild. Huzzah! 3. Thank you very much. As always, sounds like when I moved back to Cali. However, the inspectors times 2. Uh, internet provider and realtor all in the same bed. Found out 3 months later and had to close 2 online business I had. What? Inspectors. That that is very odd. I I need to hear more about what happened there. Speaking of internet, though, it's been interesting. Just like I went and got a new internet service today for the new house. Got it signed 3 times faster than my current one for $20 less with the same company. Like just differences of location and whatever, I guess. But um, appreciate the legal reasons you touched on and reason now become Ripper 2. Yeah, I mean, that was always the thing. Like we knew a long time ago it was not going to be called Ripper 2. Like it was set from the start. It was not a trademark that was available. That was something that was being overused by the Chinese. And for that reason, like we were just like, well, we can't trademark this and protect it. Therefore, and like I trademark a lot of the things that we do, optic, uh, BS410, of course, Vanquish and Incision, uh, like as we go through names, things like that, I trademark them. I go through, that's part of the things that I do at work. I write all of our trademark documents. I do like just, just run through it all. Like legalese in general are things that I'm very familiar with. I'm comfortable doing that. I enjoy reading the legal docs. patent documents, things like that. Those are all things that I dive into without a problem. So making sure that we were able to, cross our T's on everything is part of a process. And that was, we of course had origin. And so it was just like, okay, well, let's roll with this. And we just like, it was one of those things like origin. We were like, let's use this still. Like origin was the first one previously. While it did, it kind of referred to that first body, like it was VS410 with the origin limited body. But like going back to it, it was a lot of it had machined axles, machined bumpers, machined transmission. It was all machined stuff on there. That was a very special part of that truck. So it's like, well, it still fits, the origin machined version then, and this being this machined thing as well. I think that's what we'll just use this name as now. This type of thing. This is just the H10 version of an origin now. So yeah, kind of some of that thought process and how that all went. Rob, thank you very much again. Was the origin built in SolidWorks Fusion on point MS Word Cat? Do you see yourself being lead designer on future projects? So the origin was designed in a couple of different CAD programs because it was kind of tag teamed between Jim and Brandon. Brandon designs in SolidWorks, but Jim designs in Mastercam, which is not typically a program people design in. It's usually just for cam, but Jim designs in Mastercam, and a lot of the Vanquish parts going way back were all designed in Mastercam. So this was all kind of brought back and forth, so everything could be checked and clearanced and all that to make sure everything worked properly. But it was designed mainly through that. As far as lead designer, like I don't really design at work hardly at all. I did design stuff on the first Ripper, but that was just because I was going to fabricate a cage. So I was designing for that, and Jim's like, well, let's just machine it. I was like, okay. So we pivoted, we worked on it, making it machinable, and that's just the way I worked on the design of that. And here and there, I've got something I need or I'll design. So it's like go from there. But for the most part, my job is paperwork and websites and like, and I really like it. But yeah, I actually get the fun part of design, which is where someone shows me something they spent a bunch of hours on. And I go, I don't like it. Like, I don't know why I don't like it, but I don't like it. That looks weird. Something different. And I get to walk away. Master Cam's there in SolidWorks. I hate SolidWorks. I love SolidWorks. Yeah, no. I reject your reality and I substitute my own. Yeah, okay. Paperwork or cardboard? Our engineers call it seldom works, not SolidWorks. SolidWorks is awesome. So, yeah, I'm just saying. I can't afford SolidWorks. Well, did you see? I haven't looked at it yet, but SolidWorks came out with like a SolidWorks for creators. It's like $50 a year or something like that. But I paid for my Fusion re-up yesterday or today. I don't know, $500 or something like that. Whatever. So the yeah, half-baked conspiracy theory. All the big Vanquish wins are correlated to success in the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City the Super Bowl again. Scale of 1 to 10, how are for you the origin cage isn't one piece? Oh, I mean, I would never say it's not possible because anything is possible with the right amount of time and tooling and whatnot. But it's just not realistic for it to consider it being one piece. I mean, the block of aluminum it would take to make it would be massive. The cost of that aluminum would be, I mean, say it's say it's a 20-inch block. So 20, and say it's 8 inches wide for giggles. So 2 times 8, it's 160. Say it's 6 inches tall. So that's 600, then 3, 960 cubic inches times point 0.1. That'd be 96. It'd be a 96-pound block of aluminum to create the cage. So take that times current market value for aluminum. I mean, this times the standard. Like, if you want to pay before, like, regular markup, things like that, that would go into it, you're going to be like $653 in material cost for the cage. With the I mean, that's not like what just that block would cost you, but like if you're talking about everything, doing that down, and then what the multiplier would be that got put into a product, things like 90 pounds to get chipped down to 2 pounds is great. Yeah, I mean, and we only use US produced aluminum, one brand, one grade for all of our aluminum. So like we're very that way, because like if you get, there's a number of mills that make aluminum in the US. There's Hydro, Kaiser, and Alcoa. I feel like there's another one, but you've got those mills, whatever. And Alcoa aluminum 6061 T6, Alcoa aluminum, and Kaiser 6061 T6 aluminum. Like we Kaiser Select, the one that we like to use. One that's the only one that will accept if something comes in off a truck and it's not that, it just gets denied and goes back. Those two things, if you machine two parts and they look identical in your hand, and then you send them both to anodizing and they both come back, they won't necessarily be the same color when they get done. And we have found that some brands, like an Alcoa, you make 10 parts, you know, maybe it's off of two different bars. Maybe those are on different runs at the mill, and you get them plated and come back. They might not be the same color either, just because of the chemistry of the aluminum. Where we have found the Kaiser that we like is the most consistent from one day to the next day to the next day to the next year. Now, there's still variations because of the anodizing process and how a tank of acid, changes in levels as it gets used. So things like that still have an effect. But if you can take as many variables out of things as you can, you end up with the best situation possible. So, yeah, interesting thing. Um, you guys should make a one-off livery of your aluminum supplier. It's You never know. Hey. Work it out. I'm not saying you make bad aluminum. Not shitting on your aluminum. Just using it as an example. It sounds like a lot of work. We make bolts for spools, steel wire. There's variables between each spool. It's just do what you got to do. Between the main players of VP, do you do any market research or float ideas to selected folks to see if something is worth taking into market, or how you decide to get with me? Like, I don't I don't really know. It's not I don't have a good way to answer that. Like, you know, yeah. It's just it's a hard thing to answer. Like, kind of, but also no, but kind like, yeah, it's hard. Matt hates it. Josh makes it. That's a bumper sticker. That could be my favorite thing ever. I love it. Okay. Well, I think we should just let's go to 8:30. We'll do 13 more minutes of this. It's ridiculous. T-shirt coming. Oh God. Yeah. Uh with the Fortnite with the Fortnite is discontinued, does that mean a Leaf Sprung 410 is on the way? Uh It is on the way. A leaf sprung 410 is on the way. The biggest problem currently is that it's still trying to get up to 88 miles an hour to make it from the 1800s where it's still currently stuck and should be staying forever. So, unfortunately, if it can't hit 88 miles an hour, it's never going to get released. Sorry, I tried. It's strapped in front of a train being pulled by horses or something. I don't know. What do you do for a living? This toy cars. That's it. I used to be a real adult who had a civil engineering job for a decade, but I don't do that anymore. Now I just play with toys. Yeah. But then you can save up for a four links switch. Why would anyone leave such? I agree. I can't think of why anybody would. Will the wheels on the Agent Origin be available by themselves? That is not the plan. No, they will not. The plan is for them to stay as a special offering only at this point. There is a stipulation in there that that may change, but at this point, that is not the goal. So um, it's one of those things that we know, though, that at some point they'll get knocked off, and then we'll probably, who knows, release them then, maybe not. Can't fool me. I know my research. Got spreadsheets on everything. uh, oops. Where did it? Sorry. Will the Hydra RAM from the H10 trickle down to, let's say, the F10 portals? Probably not. That's like it was designed as a full package. Everything's there. All the parts work together. So, like, unless it was a new version of something, probably not. Not as far as like a reverse engine, what is that called when you put something on something else? Not reverse engineered. Whatever that is. Civil engineering. I'm an architect myself. An architect. One of those guys that doesn't have to worry about if something's actually feasible. I want all this with no support anywhere. It should just hold itself up in the sky by air hooks. No. Retrofit. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. I still have a set. See, upgrade to brass. I wish I was in RCs. uh, will we see F10 straight axle aluminum turn soon? Yes, we will. Telling you, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen soon. It sounds like Josh has never heard of cloud hooks. cloud hooks and board stretchers. I grew up with them. My dad telling me, go get the board stretcher. Because obviously you couldn't read your tape measure when you cut that too short. Hey, Robbie. Josh, that's on going 2 wheels on the optic. That's what I'm running on that one. This is the first time we're actually showing an RC car on this stream. We've been going for over 2 hours. So anyway, 2.2s with 1.9 tires. And I think it's a great look. This gives it that big wheel look, which I just really like. Now, you could run 2 tires as well. I just like the size of 1.9 tires best on the optic. So there you go. All about Delrin leaves. I think I still have mine. You guys may not know this. I actually produced a leaf spring chassis set back in the day. I even had my name on a patent for RC leaf springs. There you go. They were a shackleless leaf spring. They were a laser cut Delrin sliding leaf. I wonder if I can find a photo of that. Hold on. TCS crawler. Why does this do this now? Share screen. Delrin leaf spring. Let's see. Can we? It would be a very, very long time ago. TCS crawlers. And it was on the X Trail specifically. Can we find it? I don't see it anywhere. I don't even remember what I built it on. Was it my FJ? Let's look at Harley 0706 RC crawler Leaf Spring Toyota FJ. Dang it. Leaf sprung problems. It's definitely not that one. I can't find it. Anyway, I think Baller owns it now, but I can't remember. I might have converted it to 4-link later on. Everything I think about TCS, I can only see pre-running courses via walkie-talkie. And that's Peppers. Oh, posted the link. Where did it get? Did it get blocked? It didn't allow it to go through, Cameron. So I don't actually see it. It'll automatically block. Just sent you a pic. I'm imagining you're saying on Instagram. Oh God. Yep, there's one. Dart found a photo. So that rear eyelet, we'd have a bolt that went through that, and as the spring would compress, it would just slide back in that eyelet. There's a couple of versions. This was a one version. The other version, that eyelet was more like in the arc of the spring. Yeah. It's been a long time. I have a lot of messages to go through. I just took the photo. I may be a quarter. Oh my God. Oh my god. Stock car style slider. Yeah, exactly. Nice score. They're so cool. So cool. I had some of those. No idea you had a hand in them. Yep, sure did. I I wonder if I can find that. I wonder if there's even any photos of that thing still live on um man, RC crawlers very hard to find links on anymore. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, you still can see some of the photos. So let me and I think this thing was no, it was this one was four linked. Don't remember which one I had. That was had RC four wheel drive rock crushers and some random wheels that I bought at the time or had. They were RC four wheel drive wheels. Oh, I remember my question. I have a part of the H10 axle, but need a company to mill it. No one, or should I send it to the to Rick instead? Let me tell you, fine. That would be a very tough one for us to fit in here anytime soon. Yeah, that. Hey, here was the very first time that Brandon and I ever crawled together. See this blazer here? That's the one that sits on the shelf at Vanquish still. Um, did I break something? I don't remember that. Photo bucket ruining the internet, old internet forums with all the photos gone. Here's my old apartment. Oh, can anybody tell what that is in that back corner there? Some of you will immediately know. Um, wow, it's been quite some time. Oh, switching to some new axles way back in the day. Rock band. That's exactly right. First GoPro. Oh my only 10 pages. 10-page build thread. For me, that was pretty short. Wow. I remember I sold that truck to Baller and delivered it. Oh, here's where it did start, and it did start with even my renderings kind of have a similar feel back then. Multicolor and whatnot. Some sliders bent up, fake winches back in the day because that's all we had before LED light bars were a thing. Roof rack. Good lord. See, trucks back then very different. Forum for like kids. Stop making me feel old. Exactly. Yeah, this was from 2008. Good. This was for a Toyota with leaf springs. How things have changed. Let's see. I had 22,981 posts on RC Crawler. That's I haven't posted in a very long time, but that's still probably one of the highest post rates. Wait, Josh was scaling. I don't hate it at all. I love scale, functional scale. Some Missouri. Where was it? Oh, this was a little waterfall location that I would go crawl at, um, in north of. It was by a community center. Photo bucket, however, rot in internet hell. I could not agree more. They ruined so much of the internet. It should have been taken over like a public utility. All right, it's past 8:30. I'm procrastinating. I need to start packing. So I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. What cars would you bring to Beat the Creek, if any? I think if I beat the creek, the Rockabilly and the Origin, or an Optic and an Origin and the Rockabilly. Don't forget to film the pack from it. I'm on it. I'm gonna do it. That's what I'm gonna do tonight. Ooh, I still have a cookie left because I got Subway on my way home. You know what I might go do first before I start packing? No, I'm gonna start packing first. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna get to it. It makes me kind of want to puke. It's definitely not the Subway. It's just the fact that I have to pack. All right. Thank you, everybody. It was a fun night. I enjoyed all of your company. It was invigorating. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.